Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Morris County. Today I'm going to be taking you on a map tour of Long Valley, New Jersey, otherwise known as Washington Township in Morris County, New Jersey, because the town itself is about 45 square miles. So depending on where you live in town, you can have a really long drive to get to the schools, restaurants, shops. So you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of this video to see exactly where and what neighborhood you're going to want to end up in. Let's go. My name is Kevin Saum, and each week I bring you videos about moving to or around Morris County and the surrounding areas. So if that's why you came here today, make sure you give this video a like, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the content that I'm dropping each and every week. I'm also a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey, and I help people like you move to and around Morris County and the surrounding areas every single day. So that number is popping up below. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I cannot wait to help you find your dream home. Alright, so I'm actually going to kick today's video off in New York City, in Central Park specifically, just to emphasize how far west Long Valley is from New York City. So 56 miles west, as I mentioned, so we'll zoom out a little bit and start making our way west back into Morris County. And those first couple towns that we're going to see that are Morris County towns is going to be Hanover, Florham Park, which is right here. Continue to move west. This is downtown Morristown, so tons of shops and restaurants there. And 30 minutes further west along this Route 24 here, I'll zoom in on it. This road goes all the way, it's like a two-lane road, goes all the way to Long Valley, through Mendham, through Chester to get to Long Valley. So I'll continue to zoom out, keep going west here. All right. Still following that Route 24. There's Del Barton High School, which is a popular private all-boys high school in the area. Still following this Route 24, and as you can see, the terrain's starting to change a bit, heavily wooded, lots of parks out here. So we're still going west. Here's that Route 24 again. Now we're getting ourselves into Mendham. This is Mendham Township. Little golf course here. Then now we're getting into downtown Mendham. So this is the shopping center with the Kings. There's a couple restaurants there, CVS, Mendham High School. Continue to move west, still following that two-lane Route 24. Making our way into Chester Township. Oh, where it changed scenery, that turns into Chester here. So still going along the road. Now this is downtown Chester. So we make this left, still continues on Main Street Chester is Route 24. So there's a lot of shops and restaurants there that I've talked about in previous videos. This is that shopping center with the Home Goods, the ShopRite. There's some high-end grocery stores over here with different restaurants like Jersey Mike's Subs. There's Chipotle over here. There's Chester Meat Markets in this shopping center. There's an Ace Hardware there as well. So again, Route 24, keep going west. Now we start hitting the farmland, right? So we got Allseed Farm, which is super popular. I've talked about that plenty of times. Chubb Park over here. There's a big carnival that's actually coming up this week. That's really fun for the kids, but still in Chester. Moving our way west, continue to Route 24, still going, still going. So it's out there, as you can see. So now we're starting to come down into the valley. So as you come down this road, you have the beautiful mountain views over here, which will be kind of this area. But this is Ort Farms. They have tons to do in the fall. You can actually even see the track of where their monster truck kind of rolls during the fall season. You can get some fresh produce there as well. I got flowers there for Mother's Day. So a great option there. So this is downtown Long Valley. As you can see, a little first aid squad, 2 strip malls. ZS Fitness is a gym I used to go to when I lived in Long Valley still. The Krauser's Food. There's a little liquor store inside that Krauser's. Valley Restaurant, Pezzo Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts. All that is in this shopping center right here. Again, you can get like your bare necessities, but you're not going to do the bulk of your shopping in this area. the closest neighborhood that's still walkable, as you can see, this is Capitol Estates. My mom actually lives over in this area, Youngman Drive. But these houses are going to be like smaller ranches, bi-levels, about 2,000 square feet or less, in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. So as we continue over here, there's a little barbecue spot over here, and this is like a little landscape construction company where you can get your mulch, some plants, a little like hardware store. That's very, very popular. Then now we're into like the downtown Long Valley, the heart of Long Valley, where there's a few more shops and restaurants, kind of like a historic district. So we've got the brew pub over here, the little outdoor patio. There's the Chesapeake, which is a seafood restaurant. There's a Mexican restaurant right here. So it's like a little restaurant complex, I would kind of consider it over here. This is the parking for all those restaurants. Then this is the south branch of the Raritan River, which runs through Long Valley, kind of in that valley section. And it continues all the way into Califon. This river also runs along the Columbia Trail. So I'll make my way still downtown Long Valley. This is the Coffee Potter, which I talk about all the time in my videos. This is the Columbia Trail that runs right along. I just recently did a whole vlog video about the Columbia Trail if you want to know more about it and what you can see along the way. And I'll just move a little bit further. You can just see where the trail runs along. This is a 55 and older community, fully finished now. This was probably taken a long time ago when they were still building, but the Columbia Trail runs along there. This is Fraser Industrial Complex, but this road, Fairview, and the Columbia Trail is essentially where I would delineate where the valley starts and where the valley ends and the mountain starts, or vice versa. So as you start going up this main road, which is Schooley's Mountain Road, which you can get to off of that Route 24 downtown, as I've talked about previously, that's when you start making your way up this windy road, which does get pretty steep. And so if it was snowing out, I probably would be careful, but the road department does a really good job keeping, this area clean. But as you can see, super wooded area. We're kind of coming up to the mountain. And as you can see, Rock Spring Park is at the top of the mountain. There's a beautiful baseball field that I spent a lot of time at. There's some tennis courts, basketball courts. This is where the police station is as well. There's OMG Burger, which is a restaurant, and to be honest, like one of the only restaurants on the mountain. And I also failed to point out that the valley, I'm going to make my way down the valley because it's much easier to do on Google Earth than it is actually driving. The valley only has, trying to get my bearings here, has the only 2 gas stations in Long Valley. So one of those gas stations is right here, and then the other gas station is a little bit further down, and it's right here. So limited gas options if you are going to live on the mountain, which I was getting to before. You're probably going to be getting your gas, you could get it in the valley, but you could also be getting your gas from Hackettstown or Mount Olive, depending on where on the mountain you live, which I'll get there as the video goes on. So baseball fields, this is a football field, so lots of activities. The town library is right in Rock Spring Park as well. So while I'm up here, I'll take you through some of the major neighborhoods that I covered in some of my other videos. This is Schooley's Mountain Park. So as you can see, there is a pond you can go fishing in. There's also a bunch of fields you could toss the balls on. There's a pavilion here that you can kind of rent out, use the space for any kind of parties or gatherings. That's been pretty effective. I've had some family members do that as well. As you can see, there's some trails that kind of run through here, but there's a scenic overlook. You can kind of see the Patriots Path markings here, but there's a scenic overlook that has a really cool view of the valley. And there'll be some B-roll that you can kind of see, get the idea. So this neighborhood is called Marywood. So homes in this neighborhood are about $500,000 to $700,000. I recently sold a home on Hickory Lane, but you're looking at, there's a mixture of ranches, colonials, bi-levels with a variety of different ages, but you're looking at probably about 2,500 square feet in that range. And the houses do tend to be larger on the mountain. And then, as you can see, Norright is another major road that runs through Long Valley, and it goes up the mountain as well. So you have two ways of getting up the mountain in Long Valley. That's Schooley's Mountain, which I showed you previously, brings you right up to Rock Spring Park, or Norright. So before we head back down the mountain and I kind of show you that section, this neighborhood is called Wooded Hollow. And these are much larger homes. They're going to be closer to 4,000 square feet and be anywhere from about $700,000 to $1 million plus. But yeah, this is obviously a very nice neighborhood. You got public utilities, which isn't always the case in Long Valley. The closer you stay to Schooley's Mountain and Norright Road, the better chance that you're going to have public utilities. The further east or west you get from those roads, it's going to be a little spotty on those public utilities. So try to get you into another popular neighborhood, which is called Nestling Wood. All right, so the Nestling Wood section of town is right next to the Cosman Elementary School, Flocktown Cosman Elementary School. And this section of town reminds me a lot of another neighborhood in Long Valley called Parker Acres, but these homes are going to be anywhere from about $600,000 to $800,000 and in that 2,500 to 3,000 square foot range. And I'll have some B-roll in there that you can see what the houses kind of look like. But this is really close to that Flocktown Cosman Elementary School. Public utilities in this neighborhood as well. Here's a pond I used to fish in all the time called Kohler Pond. We used to call it Cherry Pond because it's right off of Cherry Street, and this is just kind of like the back end of that Marywood neighborhood. So if you take Norright all the way, I guess we're going, southeast. This is Rainy Road. Some nice houses in there as well. These ones are not public utilities. This is septic and well in this neighborhood. So you're coming down the mountain, also pretty windy. This crosses the Columbia Trail as well. All right, so once we get to, I went a little too far, to Bartley Road, this is where we're actually gonna start making our way towards the high school. So this is Black Oak Golf Course, which is a really nice private course. The football golf outing that I participate in every year is at this course. And this is Westmore Central High School. So this is on the very outskirts of town. It really does border Mount Olive and Chester. And technically the mailing address for the high school is Chester, New Jersey. So this section is Clover Hill neighborhood in Mount Olive, which I've covered in previous videos. And then if you're trying to go south a little bit, you're going to get yourself into the Chester area. So this is Chubb Park, Chester. So I'm just trying to give you some perspective on that. But this is like really the outskirts of Long Valley. All right, so if I'm going to go back to some neighborhoods here, I'll cover one more neighborhood that's on the mountain, and that is going to be the Grandview Estates neighborhood. So actually I went a little too far here, but as you can see, very wooded, lots of farms here. And this is the Grandview Estates neighborhood. Houses in this neighborhood go for about $800,000 to $1 million, looking at about 4,000 square feet. So these are the larger homes. And as I mentioned before, the homes on the mountain are usually newer and bigger than the houses that are in the valley. So while we're on the mountain, there's really only two restaurant options, OMG Burger and the Schooley's Mountain General Store, which pretty much just has pizza and like a little deli. So there's not a ton of options. But if you take Schooley's Mountain all the way through, we're going to pass Hastings Square, which is there's a condo neighborhood in technically still Washington Township, but it has a Hackettstown mailing address. So kids in this neighborhood go to Westmore Central High School, but there's condos and single family homes in here as well. But from this neighborhood, this is Minebrook Golf Course, although I was told that they actually got new ownership. I think it's called something else now. But this is downtown Hackettstown, and there's a giant Lowe's here. There's an Applebee's here. If you go a little bit further west, there's some more farms. It's Donaldson Farms out this way, which is over here. They have the best corn on the cob ever. So I highly recommend it if you're ever in the area to pick up some of the multicolored corn. There's an AMC movie theater. There's another ShopRite over here. We've got Walmart a little further down, Walmart's over here, some more shopping and shopping options. So yeah, tons of shopping in Hackettstown. Another place that if you are a little bit closer to that Norrite Road instead of Schooley's Mountain Road on the mountain, we're going to be going to, here we go, found Norrite again. So if you keep going up Norrite, we've got the Cuccinella School, which is an elementary school that kids on the mountain would go to. And just to go over the schools, you've got Old Farmers, which is in the valley. I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. That's an A- rated elementary school. You've got Flocktown School, which I've already talked about. That's a B+ rated school. And then this Cuccinella School is a B rated school. These are all according to niche.com. So if you continue to go up to Norrite, this is still technically Washington Township. I have a friend who actually grew up right in this house. So even though he's on the border of that Mount Olive, Hackettstown, he still went to all Long Valley schools. So this is still Long Valley, but it's like the very border. So there's a Retro Fitness here, a couple other restaurants, and a car dealer. And this is Route 46, which will take you into downtown Hackettstown or into the shopping centers at Mount Olive if you go east. So a couple other things to touch on, just like what's the surrounding areas, because like I mentioned, Long Valley doesn't have a ton going on, but if you do go to, if you are looking for things to do, obviously there's plenty to do in Hackettstown. Just wanted to point out there's a cool brewery in Hackettstown called Zigmeister. So that's right here. There's also a college called Centenary University. That's in Hackettstown as well, but really cool historic downtown, super walkable, tons of restaurants to choose from. So great option, very close to Long Valley. They also have a train station there too, which you'd be on the train for a while, but at least you could get to New York City without driving if you wanted to on occasion. So to kind of round out the video today, I'm gonna go to the southern part of Long Valley, which is back down the valley. So we're gonna go back down Schooley's Mountain Road. And yeah, so Schooley's Mountain Road is right here. Came down that squiggly, windy road down here in the town center. Then we're going to make our way a little bit further south. So when we get south and east, we get kind of close to Califon or parts of Chester Township. So definitely a lot of wells and septic in this area. Just trying to catch my bearings here. So. All right, so this is Old Farmers Road School, like I mentioned. We're still going west here, or we're going south, sorry. And now we're getting into a neighborhood called Parker Acres, which is another popular neighborhood in the valley. And Parker Acres, you're going to look at a price range of about $600,000 to $700,000, and it's about 2,500 square foot colonials pretty consistently throughout. But as you can see, not as heavily wooded as some of the other neighborhoods that I've gone over today. And you're super close to Chester in this neighborhood. You take Parker Road right out to Route 24, and you're in Chester in probably 5 minutes or less. Also very close to, I'm going to hover towards Hacklebarney State Park. So more hiking options in the valley as well. So you don't just have Schooley's Mountain. You've also got Hacklebarney State Park with some hiking trails. And then the cider mill, which is, one of my favorite places to go to, is going to be right here. So definitely make sure that you can see the apple tree rows right here. Make sure you get here in the fall, get yourself a cider donut. There's tons of fun to be had and delicious treats to be had at the cider mill. So just wanted to try to give you guys some perspective on where things are. Obviously, if you're living in the valley, you've got Capitol Estates, Parker Acres as like the two kind of main neighborhoods. You're close to those Chester shops. You've got some kids will go to the Cuccinella School depending on where you are in the valley, but most kids are going to be going to that Old Farmers Road School. If you're on the mountain, you're going to be going to the Mount Olive shopping centers, which I actually didn't show you, so I can wrap up the video by showing you that one. So we're heading up Norrite, then we're going to get ourselves to Route 46, which is right here. Oh. All right. This is Bud Lake, so that's the Mount Olive. Turkey Brook Park, which is my favorite park in the world. They opened up the splash pad recently, and my son is having a blast over there. And you don't have to live in Mount Olive to go there. So it's a super convenient option. Then this is the International Trade Zone. So you take Route 46 over to here, another Lowe's, and some other major shopping retailers, giant Walmart over here as well. So plenty of options to shop at and go to restaurants at in the surrounding areas. Just not a ton of those things in Long Valley. If you're gonna do that in Long Valley, it's gonna be right in the center of town. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this map tour. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any other questions or want me to explore some other towns, make sure you comment in the description below, and I would be glad to get to those at a later date. So if you are looking to move to Long Valley, want definitely a better feel or a more hands-on approach in the area, I just want to remind you, I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey. I love making these videos, but nothing gets me more fired up than helping my clients find exactly where they want to live in these towns. So that number that's popping up below, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I cannot wait to help you find your dream home. Till next time, guys, hope you enjoyed.